As a young man, I studied business in London. And while I was studying, a lot of my peers, they were looking at a life in a boardroom or working in the corporate world. That was their dream. But for me, it was always the kitchen because that was the place where it all started from for me. So for me, I always knew cooking. So while in London doing business, I would work in restaurants every day. My days off, I would work for free, learning from chefs, learning from business owners, and I just fell in love with the restaurant business. And that is where the journey started. That was the inspiration. After I finished in London, I moved back to Nigeria. And while I was in Nigeria, I tried to get a job as a chef. Now, I found that chefs were very undervalued and underpaid here in Nigeria. And that really struck home. I decided that I needed to change that. That cannot be right. Getting offered 25,000 naira, and I knew that in London, everywhere I worked, I earned a decent wage. I know how difficult it is to be a chef. You stand on your feet for long hours, so it's not a very glamorous place to work. To be offered 25,000 naira for a month was something that was new to me. It was a brutal wake-up call for me, but it also ignited that passion and that fire to change things, a desire to change the narrative that, you know what, you can be a chef and you can do very well and you can run a business. Now, changing the narrative was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Now, at the time, there were no culinary schools in Nigeria. No institution nurtured creativity for chefs and no structure for culinary education. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. I returned to school. Now, while I was there, I wasn't just learning how to cook. I was learning how to build an institution. I had to learn how to build a curriculum, a business model, and a vision for culinary education in Nigeria. Now, when I returned back to Nigeria after culinary school, I had to start very small because I sold most of my property in order for me to be able to afford culinary school. Because culinary school then, I think, was about $35,000. So I came back here, I had to start small. If anyone knows Lagos, there's a place called Egbeda. Very, very far from civilization. A lot of traffic to get there, but that was where I lived. So I started in a small kitchen. If you divide this room into maybe 20, that was the size of the whole of Red Dish Chronicles when I started it. And I had 3 students that started with me when I started. And I did everything myself. I did the accounting, I did management, I did organization, cleaning, everything I did by myself because it was a one-man business. It was a startup. For 6 long years, I continued to work back to back without taking a single pay. I did not get a salary for 6 years. I did not get any profit share. I had to keep on reinvesting all of the money that was coming into the business to grow the business. So it went from that one small business in Egbeda, and it just continued to grow into a bigger space, which we got in Bagada, and then to Abuja. Now, brick by brick, Red Dish Chronicles began to grow. Now, not through massive investment or government support. There was no support. No one believed in the dream at the time. No one thought that a culinary school would be a viable business. Everyone always told me that people learn cooking from their mothers. No one's going to come to culinary school. If you want a chef for a restaurant, you go to Cotonou. But for me, the reality was different. I wanted to change that narrative. Now, as we expanded, the opportunity multiplied. So from just the culinary school, it became the culinary school and a couple of food trucks. Now, from that, we created the food truck park, which most of you might know today, called Truck Central. Now, there are 22 trucks at Truck Central. We are currently opening another one in Lagos in VI, which will open before the end of the year. Also, the Burgundy by Chef Stone. Now, this one I was very passionate about because as any young chef will tell you, the dream is to one day own a restaurant. And while I was at the French Culinary Institute, we did a trip to France in Burgundy, and I fell in love with the art of eating food and drinking wine and pairing that together. So I said one day when I open my restaurant, it will be called the Burgundy. And hence, the Burgundy was birthed. Now, looking back, thank you. Now, looking back, I realized that the journey was never just about food. While I love cooking and everything that comes with it, in order to change things, you have to do more than just cooking. It was about building a legacy. And that is what I see for Red Dish in particular. A legacy that will keep on building chefs, creating a better space for chefs, increasing the pay for chefs. Now, you can try as much as possible to create something, but you need people to also buy into the dream and the passion. And that is what drove me, dream and passion. But let me tell you something that was very crucial. None of this would have been possible without a dedicated team. Now, those first 3 students that started with me, the first few students that started with me in Egbeda, they ended up staying multiple years. I think the last one got married and relocated about 2 years ago. So she stayed for about 9 years with me. So this is what helped to build it. And what I like to do is invest in people. So you will realize that you cannot do everything yourself. And that is a lesson that a lot of people don't understand. And leadership, whether in the kitchen or in business, is not about just backing others. Like I said before, you've all seen Gordon Ramsay shouting and screaming. But what you do not see is behind the scene. After all the shouting and screaming, there's a sit-down session. Explains, this is why I'm backing and shouting. This is what you can learn from that. And that is a lesson that I try to teach to everyone that works with me. So it's about nurturing talent and investing in your people. That is what leadership is truly about. Now, today I've had the privilege of training over 6,000 chefs. And most of them, they are making their mark in the industry. I have head chefs, I have sous chefs, I have restaurant owners that I've trained. And now this is changing the culinary world, and that is something I'm very proud of. Now, when you invest in others, when you lift others as you climb, this is truly when you achieve greatness. So today I stand here not just as a chef, but as someone who has played a role in transforming an entire industry. Thank you. Now, from being offered 25,000 naira as a chef back then to now overseeing an industry where chefs earn between 250,000 and 300,000 on average, I think this is the impact that I am most proud of. And Red Dish Chronicles has truly revolutionized the landscape in Nigeria. And our chefs are raising the standard, not just in Nigeria, but across the continent. But this isn't just my story. It's a story of what's possible for you. It's about the power of following your passion, of pushing through when the odds are stacked against you, and of refusing to settle for less. A lot of people do settle for less than their worth, or they don't know their worth. Now, when passion meets purpose, and when resilience meets your engine, you use it as fuel. There is no limit to what you can achieve. So I ask you today, what is your passion? What's that thing you're willing to fight for? Even when no one else believes in it. When people told me that, no, nobody wants to go to a culinary school, I believed fully in that dream. Follow it, nurture it, and combine it with a relentless drive for excellence. The journey will be hard, no doubt. Yes, but I promise you the rewards will be immeasurable when you do attain it. So follow that passion. The world needs what you have to offer. Don't ever believe that it's too small, my dream is too small. The world needs it. And don't just dream it, act it. One step at a time, start to act on it. Build your brand, create your legacy, and never ever forget that the possibilities are endless and limitless. Thank you.